Sean Strickland fights for a world championship tomorrow night, and there's nobody you'd rather see fight for a world championship tomorrow night, right? When we know the opponent is there's nobody you'd rather see. And I'm putting that out there as a statement, but I'm slowing down and pausing so you can get your thoughts together. I love when we have a conversation in the comment section. I mean, I must tell you, maybe that tells you a little something about my social calendar, but I love it, and I read them all, and I like the back and forth. Feel free to disagree with me, but I don't think that you will. And you need to be realistic if you do. Okay? By example, you don't say, I want to see Michael Bisping in his prime fight him. I want to see Mike Tyson fight. No, come on. Of the usual suspects that you have, and there was never a resistance given to Strickland, by the way. There was a respect shown to Sean Strickland. There was never an uprising in the division. And this is something that, like, Bo Nickel would generally sink his teeth right into. Like, hey, if you're going to the number 6 guy, and you never go with number 6, then why not just come to number 16? Right? I mean, just for example. But everybody kind of appreciated what Sean had done. Everybody kind of understood that the only reason Sean ever hit a speed bump in the first place is because he agreed to do something nobody else would do, and he took on Alex Pereira before the world knew how damn good Alex Pereira was. When I tell you that Sean's the guy that you want to see fight, you didn't feel that way 6 weeks ago, and neither did the UFC, who pulled Sean from the fight. So here we are. And I just want to bring to your attention, I'm stating the obvious, but I want to bring to your attention how helpful media can be. I want to bring to your attention why it gets under my skin when guys don't call out other guys, and when they do call them out, they don't tell the story. And when they do attempt to tell a story, they don't understand the story has 5 W's. Who, what, when, why, and where. If you don't have the 5 W's, you don't have a story. Sean Strickland is who you want to see fight the most. There's another guy there. There's another guy that's ranked higher. There's another guy there, licensed. He has weighed in. He is prepared to go in should something happen between now and bell time. He beat Sean. And his name is Jared Cannonier. And Jared Cannonier is awesome. And he did beat Sean. And Jared Cannonier has an incredible backstory on his own. But Jared Cannonier, for a fight with Izzy to gain your attention, has done nothing. I'm not giving Jared a hard time. I've met Jared one time. He was a tremendous gentleman to me. I'm not giving him a hard time. I just want to share with you the difference. I feel like it is glaringly and painfully obvious. But for some reason, it's not. And if you went back 6 weeks ago in that brief period where even the organization put Sean in purgatory, we now know what they did as a contingency plan. We now know who they went to. They went to Jared Cannonier. Now that speaks to the confidence that they had that Israel Adesanya could handle business on his own. But between now and then, not only do you guys want to see Sean more, I assure you that the UFC would agree with this statement. They also want to see Sean. That's the right guy. They're glad they worked it out. They're glad that they have Sean. And there's really not a very close second. And you could always turn to Angry Marvin. Like, he'll create something, believe me. You could go and grab somebody to go and do it that would be of a level of interest, but not of the level of interest of Sean. I had a fight one time. And it was with Jon Jones. I got a fight with Jon Jones. I've never fought in that division. I'm ranked nothing in that division because I've never been in it. I cut the line. I go to number 1. And a friend of mine, Nate Quarry, was working with a show back then. I want to call it MMA Live, but that's not it. Was it MMA Uncensored? It was awesome, though. They did it at the TLC building right in New York City. I mean, you're right in Times Square, and they did it live. It started at 11 p.m. You know, you see the night grab in the background. You got Straka. Carlson's there. It was great. And they asked Nate about that. Why is Chael getting the fight? I remember what Nate said. He very calmly said, Chael has made it apparent the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I know that that's an old adage. I know that Nate didn't coin that in that moment. But I remember it, and I've stored it away, and Nate was right then, and that statement is true now. You guys know Ali Abdelaziz. This is manager to the stars, right? You've got Ali as the bar, and then you've got other people that manage in MMA. But Ali represents almost all of the representatives from Dagestan, all of Khabib's team, and other folks from Dagestan. And Ali is aware that they're going to have a hard time building fights under this paradigm. So he steps in. He steps in and he steps up and he ups his Twitter account and he starts to speak for them. And you will see Ali on TMZ. Ali is the only MMA manager you will ever see on TMZ or that you have ever seen on TMZ, but he's doing that because he knows there's a void, so he's filling it. Which further proves Nate Quarry's point, which further proves my point. Words matter. The arena is sold out. UFC 293 is going to do very good numbers. If you remove Sean Strickland, I don't know that both of those statements are true. I do believe one of them is. I believe they would have packed the house and they understand that local market. But I can't prove it. And I'm pretty confident in the other one. And I'm very confident in telling you guys as hardcore fans who had a different opinion 6 weeks ago. I'm pretty sure my statement isn't going to be disagreed with. I don't think there's anybody else you'd rather see fight in there. And even you ones who tried to get clever and thought you were going to break up the October fight and bring in a Chimaev or a Paulo Costa, like, I hear what you're doing, but that would go into the category of unrealisticness. I think if we're being fair, we know who we choose from. We choose from the guys that are available. We go in order of ranking. We go in order of storyline. We go in order of parity. Of course, we want to know what Adesanya thinks. And all signs pointed to Strickland. But there's another guy, and he's there, and he's licensed, and he weighed in. And he's in shape, and he wants to go in. And he's had a fight himself, and he's got a backstory himself. He's ranked higher, and he beat Sean Strickland. But I don't think that's who you want to see go in. And I know a lot of you purists out there think that that's part of it. Guys, you got to learn how to throw a jab. You got to learn what's called a parry. You got to learn what's called a roll. You got to get them lungs full. You got to get that cardio. You got to get down to your weight class. You got to make some friends. You got to get some connections. You're going to have to get some short pants and a mouthpiece. There's things that you have to do. Getting creative control is part of it. Understanding how you're going to market, what the character is, how you're going to build, and how you're going to brand is part of it, whether you like it or not. I will tell you, I did not like strength and conditioning. I did not like to get up at 5 in the morning and meet Coach Clayton out on a hill that was 30 minutes away. And in Oregon, it usually rained and sometimes it snowed. We're doing it anyway. I did not like that. That was not fun for me. But it was part of it. It had to be done. I could look at other guys who had achieved and obtained what I wanted to achieve and obtain, and this is what they did. Just like the jab. Just like show up to practice each day. Just like having to have the mandatory short pants and the mandatory mouthpiece. You have to be able to entertain to get yourself fights. It's not all about rankings. And you'll see guys that say that I'm going to do my talking inside of the ring. Well, Jared Cannonier did too, and he did it successfully, and he won, and he's on the bench right now. It's not a punishment to Jared. I'm telling you that story to get Jared credit, because most of you don't even know that he's there on the bench. Most of you know nothing about it. If I said, what does Jared Cannonier have to do with this fight? To most anybody, not the most hardcore fans, but to most anybody, they say he has absolutely nothing to do with the fight. If I said, I'll give you 1 minute to change that answer, they bring it up, and they bring up a poster, and they bring up the fight card, and they stand by their answer. He has nothing to do with this fight, when the fact is he's there. He's ranked higher. He beat the guy that's going in, but he's going to be in the front row eating popcorn. Because all those years ago on MMA Censored, Nate Quarry had it right.